good morning, leaders. How are you guys feeling? Hope you are blessed. I'm happy to be back on this beautiful Friday morning. Are you guys excited about this topic? I'm really excited to talk about this because I've really practiced this now for more than a year now. I'm still perfecting the skill of public speaking, and definitely is one of the things that we need to practice in this profession of being a network marketer. It's something that we need to do on a weekly basis. If we do it face to face or we do it online, we need to practice it. That's how we perfect to getting comfortable to talking to a crowd of people online or offline. So today I want to say we are embarking on a transformational journey from conquering fear to mastering the skill of um, public speaking. This skill is not just about delivering words, it's about connecting hearts and minds and leaving a lasting impact on your audience. Let's dive into this essential elements of becoming a powerful public speaker. The first thing that we need to really get out of the way is conquering fear. Fear is the most it's the most daunting feeling that we are all experiencing, especially when we are doing it for the first time. um, we need to get comfortable, like in talking to a crowd of people. The fear of facing a crowd is natural, but it can be overcome. Embrace your fears as energy and excitement. Prepare thoroughly, practice relentlessly, and remember the audience wants you to succeed, because the only thing that you need to really practice is not focusing on the fear you are feeling when you are standing in front of a crowd. I saw this. I'm watching a lot of TED talks. I don't know if you guys, if you leaders are familiar with TED talks that are always been presented on YouTube, or you can watch it also on their social media platforms. TED talks is where I started to practice and to see how people are presenting and how to practice your posture and all those things. And the first thing that you need to really master is to grab attention. Grab attention by pausing when you are coming onto the stage or onto the in front of the crowd. Don't focus on what you're feeling. Focus on the crowd and ask them. Just start off by a weird question or start off by a weird statement, and then you just pause. And that pausing will calm you down. It will calm your nerves. It will make you feel comfortable to continue your speech or to continue your presentation. So that is also something that I've learned throughout the year. And if you really want to master this skill, keep on watching people that are presenting, join into the Zoom meetings and learn how our leaders are presenting. If you are joining a lot of Zoom meetings, one of these days you have to practice by also doing it yourself. So the next thing that we need to conquer is to build our confidence. That is the only way that we will overcome this feeling of fear. Overcoming confidence is confidence is the cornerstone of effective speaking. You have to stand tall, you have to breathe deeply, and you have to maintain eye contact with your audience throughout your speech, throughout your presentation. You have to really connect with your audience. And you have to believe in your message that you are delivering to your audience. If you don't believe in the message, then your audience will not believe in it as well. You have to visualize success and affirm your ability to deliver. Like I said, the more you do it, the more you get comfortable, even get comfortable in, you know, in your own voice. So when you heard yourself speaking, you will just get more comfortable and comfortable doing it when you're doing it on a regular basis. And the next thing that we need to really this is a few tips that I wanted to share with you leaders. It's just three tips to build your confidence for public speaking. The first thing that the first thing that you need to do, you have to prepare well what you're going to present. You have to prepare your material thoroughly. You have to rehearse until you feel comfortable. And I think the last thing is that you need to really practice on what you are going to present, because you have to also prepare for possible questions. You have to also prepare for possible challenges that people will ask you. So you have to be prepared. That's the first thing that you need to do. And the second tip that I want to give is visualization. If you visualize the audience in front of you, that's why how before you present, go and stand in front of a mirror, familiar, look at yourself, how you present, how you talk, how your posture, how you're standing in front of the crowd. That you have to practice that. And that is also in a way that you can like looking into the mirror and visualize success and positive outcomes. Use affirmations to boost your confidence. I've been practicing affirmations for the last few weeks, and it really works. How you talk to yourself, self-talk is very, very powerful. Focus on the value you bring to your audience. That is really, you have to bring value because you are grabbing their attention. So you have to bring value in your information that you're sharing with them. And the last tip that I wanted to bring to you leaders is body language. Body language, I think it's the next slide, leader. Body language, this is now very important. You need to really, the way you the way you present your body in front of a crowd, or in front, even when you're sitting, when you are presenting online, you have to sit comfortable. You have to, the way you sit also, people can also, they can also listen to it in the way you speak. That's how they can know that you're confident in what you're saying, you're confident in what you're presenting. So how you sit, the way you sit is also important. The way you stand, your posture is very important. This will maintain your confidence throughout the presentation. Use a confident gesture. Doesn't matter what you feel, in that moment, just feel confident in what you're saying. Establish and maintain eye contact with your audience throughout the presentation. Even if you're speaking online, this is a way of practicing. That is why I'm always open to present on the 5 a.m. sessions, not only on the 5 a.m. sessions, but also in my personal meetings, Zoom meetings, my face-to-face, my one-on-ones. The more I do it, the more I become comfortable in speaking, in presenting. Presenting is a skill that we need to practice on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and not something that you do once a week, or you have to do it constantly in order to perfect the skill. And the next thing that we need to focus on is perfecting our posture and our body language. Just like I talked, like I spoke to about in the previous slide. The way you present your body in front of people, People will see that you're confident, and people will feel even that you're confident. Your body speaks volumes. You don't even need to say a word. The way you stand, the way if your eyes are open and you are looking at the crowd, and the way you are standing upright is the way that it will also make them feel comfortable in listening and grabbing your attention. And maintain an open, stance and gestures that reinforce your message, and use movement purposefully. Like when you're presenting, if you're feeling comfortable walking up and down the stage, you're feeling you want to come to the crowd, give them the mic and ask them a question. Interacting with the crowd is also very, it's also a very powerful posture that you need to practice, and it projects a lot of confidence, and this will show also this posture throughout the presentation. I also done it myself, asking questions to the crowd, making them answer, and interacting is really powerful. This shows that they are listening with full attention of what you're saying, because you need to practice the value of your information. And the next thing that we need to do is we need to master communication. Communication is also a skill, but especially for public speaking. Last year when I did the public speaking course myself, I really wanted to challenge myself to practice the skill, because if you really love presenting, you can also choose this as a career, not only for your business, but you can go and speak at different conferences and masterminds. And this is really a very, very lucrative profession if you really love to present. And I think I want to also master the skill, to also pursue it in a career myself, because I really want to get good on doing public speaking. But the communication is a two-way street. You need to talk to you, to your crowd, and you need to present online or offline. Listen actively to your audience reactions. If you see your audiences are not listening attentively to you when you are looking at them, and you see that what you're presenting is like, you can see it on people's body language, if they are bored, if they are not interested in what you're saying, because they are distracted. Maybe they are looking at their phone, or they are talking to somebody next to them in the crowd. You need to grab attention, and really keep the value of your information so locked into the crowd, so that they can really listen attentively. And speak clearly. When you're speaking, speak with a confident voice, and find that comfortability within your voice, and just pace yourself. Adapt to the mood of the room. When you walk into the room, you can feel the room. You don't even need to say anything. The way you walk into the room, the way will definitely, also, you will feel the mood also in the audience, and then you will just engage authentically. Just be yourself. Doesn't You don't need to pretend something that you're not. Just be yourself. How you speak. If you want to open the presentation with a joke, or you want just people just to feel comfortable, just to breathe and overcome that nerves. And I'm just giving a few tips for those that are presenting. So the next slide is, you need to crafting your story, especially when as network marketers, we need to craft our story. We can always change it, but you know you have to perfect it in such a way that you feel confident. I love to listen. I know the story so well. Every time when you are listening to Kuchi's story, just as an example, when you listen to Kuchi's story, it's so it's so profound. You like hearing it because every time she presents it in a different way, but it's the same information, but she presents it in a different and a confident, powerful way. That is why the way she presents is always grabbing attention, because the information she's giving is so much value. And you can practice that by listening to um by different leaders testimonies. That is the testimony that they're sharing, is they're crafting their story. That is what you also need to craft and believe. And this is your message, this is what you want to say. Every great speech tells a story. Structure your content with compelling and compelling beginning, a clear message, a memorable conclusion. Whatever you are, every step of the presentation that you are getting in your story, you need, upgrade it a little bit, make it interesting every time. Don't let people just feel, oh, it's the same information, it's the same way, she's presenting it the same way. It's, make it interesting for people to always come back and listen. And illustrate your points, resonate with your audience. Your story will resonate with somebody that is in that room. Definitely it will. If you are confident in what you are saying about your story, and you always crafting it in the best way, I'm telling you, leaders, this is definitely going to change your business in such a way that you never saw it before. And the next point that I wanted to express, we are almost closing the session. The next slide. The next slide, leader. Yeah, and the next one is, you have to share relatable stories. You know, that is how you build connections. You have to connect with your audience through shared experiences. Talking about, as a mother, you went through financial, having financial problems, and you struggled with a certain thing, and you are expressing your experience to evoke emotions. Because, I mean, when you're talking to people, people are emotional beings. You need to share something that will connect with the audience in an emotional way. So make it memorable what your message is evoking. The stories that you are telling, make sure that it will definitely resonate with someone, because stories are what we are meant to do when we are presenting. People are falling in love with people's stories. They are falling for the emotions that evoked inside of them when they listen to that story. Be genuine, be vulnerable. Invite people in what you felt that moment, in your situation that you went through. If it's in your health, if it's in your finances, in a relationship, anything. People really, they grab attention. Even if you do it online, people listen, people want to relate, people want to listen with empathy, with sympathy, with, you know this is something that you need to practice, to craft stories in such a way. You can even use stories of other people, just expressing how that story made you feel and how you relate to it. And I really watched something also yesterday on TikTok, when a lady was talking about, she's in her late 40s, almost in her 50s, and, you know being laid off from, being retrenched from her company that she worked for 15 years, and have to start all over again. Starting all over again, is that's not something that is easy for a lot of people. And I really related to that story, because she was, somebody that really loved what she was doing at the company that she worked, and now this company wasn't, they didn't want her services anymore. They didn't need her services anymore. And I just wanted to also express that when you are listening to somebody's story, you need to really relate to it in such a way that your emotions are so intact. When that person is speaking, you are listening in such an attentive way. So that is also what you can do for yourself when you are presenting. You can do the same way, or you can use the same style to relate to people. The next slide, we are almost finished, leaders. I hope you guys are still here and hope you are finding value in all this information. If you are with me, drop an emoji, drop something in the comments. So, the last thing that I wanted to share is courage and self belief. If you don't practice these things that I've mentioned throughout the presentation, then you won't believe in yourself. You won't have the courage to talk in front of even people online, people in front of you. You have to believe in the power of your voice. If you hear your voice more and more, you will get comfortable in listening to it, and visualize success. When you are presenting, don't contemplate too much in what you're feeling. Just do it anyway. Practice self affirmation. Affirm that you can do this. The way you talk to yourself is very powerful. And embrace vulnerability as strength. It's a vulnerable process to talk in front of people if you're not used to it. And something that I wanted to also say, that I was not that type of person before I joined Forever. I never thought in my life that I will present a lot of presentations online or offline, or just practicing the skill of public speaking. I never thought in my life that this will be my purpose for the next, phase in my life. So a lot of people see the opportunity as something that is scary, but being scared of the unknown is also exciting, because this is how you are also crafting the personal development in you, you know, going for all the things that are out of your comfort zone. And each speaking opportunity is a chance to grow and to inspire others. Doesn't matter how it feels, but definitely the more you do it, the more good you'll feel. Definitely. That's something that I've experienced myself. The more I'm doing it, the more I feel good about myself, because you have to believe in what you're saying to people online, offline. When you're talking to them, even if the way I'm speaking now, it's like you, all of you leaders are in front of me right now. I hope you guys can relate how I'm talking. I'm talking, if you guys, if all of you are here in the room with me. That is how confident you have to be when you are speaking. You have to speak in such a way that oh no, this is something that I love to do. I love to present. I love to talk about Forever. I love to talk about the products. The more you do it, the more you will love it. Are you leaders relating to what I'm talking, what I'm saying? Do you feel the energy when I'm talking to throughout this presentation? It's something that you need to practice, leaders. You need to practice this in order to feel confident in everything that you're saying. And I just want to close my closing message. Um, my closing message is that public speaking is not just a skill, it's a transformational journey. From overcoming fear to crafting compelling stories and you're building deep connections, every step enhances your ability to inspire and influence. Embrace the process. hone your craft, and remember that your voice matters. Your voice truly matters, leaders. I can't wait to hear more about all the leaders presenting from using this information. This is powerful. And lastly, embrace your voice and become a master communicator. And I leave you guys with that 2 cents. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for the comments. And I really love doing um, this. Presenting is really something that I love to do now. And I hope you guys will love it too. And find maybe a career in public speaking, because it's a very profitable career for those that want to do it on a regular basis. If there's any questions, please shoot. If you have any comments, please shoot just before we close. Thank you so much, leaders.
Thank you so much, my leader. I see there are comments in the chat. Leader Mapula says, yes, we'll practice, my leader. We are really feeling it. Yes, practice in the 5 a.m. session. Practice in this 5 a.m. session. Please sign up for August. You know, we take it for granted, but this is how you build the confidence to speak. Start with smaller groups. Like here you're talking to your colleagues, we can correct each other nicely. It helps you to develop those skills. So take advantage of these small sessions, small groups. Over time, you actually build enough confidence to run your own Zoom meetings, you know, to run your own presentations, even for your prospects and your customers. So thank you so much, my leader, for sharing. I loved the word preparation. You know, sometimes we are scared to speak because we are not prepared. It's always good to know what you are going to be talking about, rehearse it, and, you know, prepare for some questions or challenges, because if you don't prepare yourself, it just makes you even more nervous. And then if something happens, like you have to do a business presentation and you get there's no power source, so you can't project, and you don't know how to present the marketing plan without looking at the projector, you'll find yourself even more fearful about the presentation. But if you know your material, you've practiced your material, even if something is to go wrong, you know, you are able to proceed with your presentations because it's something that already you know it in your head and you're able to talk about it. So for me, I think that was my biggest takeaway, to say, always be prepared, know your material, rehearse it, and prepare for questions as well. You know, there are people who ask questions. So make sure you know what it is that you're talking about, because sometimes you might have to give like answers. Maybe you did the marketing plan and someone doesn't understand, and then you have to explain. So thank you so much for these tips. I really enjoyed the preparation tips. We do have some time. I'm gonna allow participants to unmute if there is anyone who wants to share also some of their tips that are not in the slides or ask questions. You are welcome, my leaders.